Well, that was, so I thought because your question was too jumbled for my liking, because then I was gonna get with the one.
It says good, let's keep it. As long as you mean good, yeah, that's all it is. Let's throw out this laptop and we're done with it.
And then it zoned out to.
I recorded with the
But I had a headrest.
No, but thank you. That was you, right? Really? Thanks, Wags.
Thanks everyone for being here. Joined at this time by Penn State head coach Gagudowski. If you have a question, please raise your hand. We got a mic on each side of the room. We'll get a mic to you. Don't ask you questions until you have the mic. We'll go right here, start, and then right here. You can just pass it along.
Hi, guy. How you doing?
Good. How are you?
I'm doing good. All right. So, what's your first impression on Gavin McKenna? How's his work ethic, and how does he compare to any freshman you've ever brought into the program?
I mean, his work ethic is excellent. He fits into our locker room extremely well. I will tell you, he's extremely quick. He's extremely fast. He's also in great shape. Like you do skating drills, and he's right at the front. So he's not just a cerebral player. He's got excellent conditioning and excellent speed. He's just fitting in extremely well because he's just a really chill, easy hang, to be honest with you. He's very respectful. He's got great manners. He's very polite. He's really easy to hang out with. He does think the game differently. He's a different animal when it comes to that. Not only compared to any other freshman, just compared to anybody. He thinks the game on a very unique, quite amazing way. And you can see that when there's drills that are game specific that have a lot of traffic, he just somehow he uses time and space in a very, very unique, like just make it so easy way. So that's been fun to watch.
Coach, thanks for the time. Wanted to ask, when you look at this season, Coach Powers, as you summarized it pretty well, his team is the deepest it's ever been, but that's the case for every team in college hockey.
Right.
How exciting does it make this season and years to come for the entire sport?
I think it's a good way of putting it. I think Coach Powers is exactly right. They are deeper than they have been. I think we are too. But I think every team across college hockey can say that because of the new addition. You've got a whole pool of excellent players that are now eligible. So I think that can be the norm. When you ask about how exciting it is, I mean, it's college hockey. It rocks. Like we play Friday, Saturday, and there's not a lot of games. So every game is playoffs.
Yeah, Guy. Hey, guys, good to see you. Two quick questions. One, you mentioned that Gavin sort of has picked up things. Were you surprised that he's picked up the pace of the game as quick as he has at this level for as young as he is?
Well, when I say it's not that he's picked up the pace, he manipulates the pace. I was surprised to see how fast and quick he was. Like he's very, very quick, and he maintains his conditioning is excellent as well. That I didn't know. But what I mean about it's not that he picked up the pace. That's I think the most amazing thing about him. Obviously, his puck skills are elite. His skating is elite. His edges, but I really enjoy, and I think the other players on the team have really enjoyed watching his mind work. When normally you think you're out of time and space, he manipulates it, and that's what's really amazing to watch.
And just what have you learned about him just as a person? More so than as a player.
Yeah.
Just in the few weeks you've been able to be around him.
Like I said, he's extremely easy hang. He's like really chill, easy hang, very polite, very respectful. Like guys, like you automatically like him because he's just such an easy hang. He's a really cool kid.
Hey, Coach, thank you for your time today. How do you plan to fill the void of Keaton Peters?
Yeah, that's a great question. He's Keaton is a guy who is just a monster for us on the right-hand side dot. He also was a great penalty killer. Anytime we needed, he was a really tough, gritty player that when we needed identity, he was over the boards. I think, the emergence. I think at the end of the season, you saw Nick Chin DeGraves play his best hockey, and I think he's really going to have to jump into that role. I think we have another, like Lev Katzen is a freshman that brings a lot of toughness and grit with him as well. I think those two are specifically going to have to pick up the pace. And whenever you talk about an identity, we have lost some with Keaton. I mean, Dane Dowiak, that's what he does. So those three guys, I think, are going to be essential if we're going to do that.
Guys, straight ahead. When you talk about Gavin and the way that you've described how he sees the game and plays the game, what is the feeling out process like for you as a coach to learn how to coach a player like that, and for him to, I guess, adjust to how you are coaching him?
Well, I think that's something I've talked to other, some NHL coaches that have coached very high end talent as well, and it fits. I think how we do things here. It's not just Gavin, but we don't necessarily we really embrace creativity, and we guys that like to create on their own and like to think on their own and are very instinctual have always done really, really well with us. So as far as coaching him, it's a matter of not to tell him what to do with the puck. It's going to be remind him of the habits that he needs to be without the puck to play at the next level, and we've been very fortunate to work with some very high-end coaches that can reinforce what we're doing here, and that's what it's going to be. It's certainly not going to be try to understand his mind, because I've never seen anything like that. Like I can't explain how he does what he does with the puck. I can only observe it. So we're not telling him what to do with the puck or how to create. We're reminding him of the habits that he needs without the puck. So that's how it works.
Coach, right here. Congratulations on last year's success. Obviously, looking into this season, you have Gavin. You obviously had the Frozen Four run and a bunch of ESPN top plays. What is the team doing to kind of stick to its blue collar roots and just stay humble in the moment where you have like all this public attention on the program?
Well, thank you, number one. And number two, I think that's part of the reason why we were able to attract players like Gavin and Jackson Smith and Luke Misa and Shay Van Ohm and Nolan Collins and Josh Fleming. I think that's a big part of the success of the team. So really, and I think that it's not a new page. It's continuing on where we left off. And I think Gavin was really adamant about that, to be honest with you, when coming in and talking about the reasons why he always wanted to switch back to, hey, what the team did last year and achieved, and he's here to enhance that, not to change that. And so I think, how do we do that? I think it's being done by the attitude of the collective attitude out of our freshmen. And I think that the team is very proud of what they went through, specifically how they started. I mean, what they did was pretty spectacular, and they're really proud of it, and they want to continue it.
Coach, welcome back. You guys announced Dane as your captain last week. What made him the perfect choice to be the next captain of this team?
So this is one where certainly the coaches agreed with it, but the players spoke pretty loudly. And I think it's because he's just a team guy through and through. He's very accountable to himself. Like he talks a very good team game, but he backs it up. Not only that, he's an extremely strong, gritty guy. He loves Penn State and embodies it, but I think he really has an ability to with everything he does, play for the team. I think that's really the biggest key. So he does a lot of the things, getting pucks out, winning faceoffs, going to the net, getting cross-checked and getting his ankles hacked off while he does a lot of things that don't show up in the box score, but the guys recognize as being essential for us to have success.
Hey Guy, how are you personally handling all of the high expectations surrounding your team this season after the great offseason you guys had? I don't think it's handling it. I think that's why a lot of people come to Penn State. Like, I don't think if you're an athlete, you come to Penn State if that's not what you want. So I guess you look at it,
you much rather be in a position where you have expectations than if you don't. And I think a lot of athletes come to Penn State because they don't mind those expectations. And I think it's been starting from scratch here. Hasn't been that long, a little over a decade. I think these are the days that we were looking forward to. Like, I can tell you, back when there was zero expectations and the only expectation was that you were going to get killed, this is a lot better. So we're enjoying this part.
Hey, Guy. What does Mac bring to this team as a player, and then how cool is it for you, just get going actually coaching your son?
I mean, he's for us to get a transfer who's, a first-team All-American and Hobie Baker top 10 is something great for this program. And the fact also that he's I think he led the nation in goals for defensemen, and that was an area last year where we used to score a lot more goals from the back end than we did last year, and so he's going to be a welcome addition with the skill set he brings to our needs. Besides that, we wanted to get a little bigger back there, so he adds to the size. And as far as coaching him on the, here it's the same. It's just he's just a player. The benefit and where I feel very blessed is that hopefully it hasn't happened yet, but we're hoping to get him home for Sunday dinner like someday. My wife keeps bugging him that, hey, it's so you can do it. And he's like, no, can't. So hopefully that'll happen. The blessing is that we get to see him more because, he's hockey players bill it a lot. We haven't seen a lot of them the last 8 years.
Hi, Coach. Nice to see you.
You too.
You brought in 2 goalies this offseason in Kevin and Josh. You called Kevin Arseni 2.0 after last season. I guess, have you settled on a starting goaltender before this weekend, and what have you seen from your goaltender so far?
No, I don't think so. I think Kevin is coming in with the expectations. He is the one goalie that we brought in that does have collegiate experience being a transfer. He is a little bit of an Arseni 2.0 in the fact that he loves to compete and he's a fun guy. But we've been also extremely impressed with Josh, extremely impressed with the type of competitor and type of guy he is and how well he's been on the ice. So we feel really confident that we have 2 really good ones. I think that, it's going to remain to be seen who's going to win that starting role. I think you can anticipate that Kevin will get the start initially because he's had experience. But we expect both to be excellent goaltenders and both to get opportunities.
Hey, Coach. Aiden Fink was a top 10 Hobie Baker finalist last year, led the Big Ten in points, set plenty of Penn State records. But if you asked him, he didn't end the season probably the way he wanted, only had 1 point in the 3 NCAA tournament games. What steps has he taken this offseason? What have you seen differently out of Fink?
Very honestly, I haven't seen nothing yet. I think that'll show up. I think that will come to show up in games. I do. I think what you see out of him is a great excitement to come in. I think he's proud of what the team and he personally accomplished last year and wants to build on it. So you can see that. If you're asking what I see in his game, I don't think it's fair until we see him play a game. So in practice, I'm not sure that I can actually I can tell you that he's doing things different in practice. Maybe there's things in the game, but I can tell you he's hungry. He really wants to build off of what he did and what the team did. I think he's proud of both, but by no means you sort of get the feeling he's still a little grouchy, he's not satisfied. I think he's proud of what was accomplished, but he's not satisfied. So I think what we've seen from an attitude-wise is you see a pretty hungry guy right now.
Coach, about this time last year, speculation started with the CHL changes. In November, it happens. How quickly was Aiden Fink in your office telling you about Shay Van Olm, knowing that they played together back in 15U and all kinds of spring hockey?
No, it was interesting because when the news comes out, obviously these guys have played with a lot of their friends growing up. Some have went to college, some went to the CHL. Finker was someone that we asked about Shay, but Shay didn't need Finker to pump his tires. I mean, Shay Van Olm scored 49 goals in the Western Hockey League. He led the Western Hockey League in goals. And I guess equally important to us, he's a tough kid, and he has a reputation as a team. He's a really great guy, and that comes out right away. He's one of those guys you want to gravitate to. We knew that. We knew he led the dub in scoring in goals. We did check with Finker to see if all of the rumors we heard about how he is such a great guy, such a team guy. If that's true, and it is, we're pumped to have him. Yeah. So Finker was just validating our thoughts. We beat him to the punch.
I guess it's me. Hey, Guy, back here.
Hi.
You've described Gavin several times as an easy hang.
Yeah.
What throughout the recruiting process maybe kind of gave you that belief that he could blend in here as well? And,
You said he's an easy hang.
Yeah.
What have you done to try to get to know him on the personal side?
He is an easy hang, and we did get inclinations of that on his visit. And two things specifically. One was he was extremely polite. Like his manners, he has excellent manners, and he's just very polite and easy. And then the other thing about it, when we were talking about just how what would happen if you did commit here and things like that, and he always reverted back to talk about the team. Like the team did so well last year. Like it's not what I did; it's about what the team did and me joining the team. So he was extremely respectful, and again, his manners are excellent. Like we were very impressed with that automatically, and the fact that he just talks so much more about the team than himself is really interesting. But to get to know him, it's in all different situations, whether it's him in the weight room, him in meetings, him bumping into him playing ping pong, just hanging out, asking him. He's chill. He's just so easy to like. He's just chill and an easy hang, and that actually that comes across pretty clearly in almost everything he does.
Yeah, you mentioned Mac a little bit earlier. What is it like recruiting your son, and is there a level of awkwardness that comes with that because he's your son?
Well, I didn't. I was pretty adamant that that's at the time that's not that I didn't set out to do that. He certainly didn't set out to ever play for his dad. But when it became apparent that the season he was having and long story short, but because he was going to transfer, once that happened, it became very apparent that he had a lot of choices from all leagues, including ours. And so it was the assistants that really came in and demanded that I sort of allow this to happen, because they were like, hey, look, we're either playing with them or against them. And that's the way it went. So I guess there was a bit of awkwardness with the assistants, coming in and pounding their fists and saying, hey, like, this is real. We got to do this for the program. And either, just understand if we're not playing with them, we're going to be playing against them. So let's do this thing. After that, it was just like any other player.
Hey, guy. Thanks for your time today. Before I get to my real question, you mentioned the ping pong with Gavin, which I know is a pretty competitive deal. How's he kind of fitting in there?
He is right now. He's on the leaderboard.
Okay.
I personally think he's a little high. That's my own personal opinion, but he's doing very well. So he's risen up the board. I don't think he's at an elite level yet, in my opinion. But in my opinion, none of them are.
Fair enough. With all the attention on Gavin, Jackson actually became the first round pick in program history this summer. Can you just kind of describe getting him here and your first impressions of him as well?
So I think getting Jackson was extremely important. I'm not sure we get Gavin without Jackson, to be honest with you, because he's one of those. He's such a. There's a couple reasons. One is he's an absolute thoroughbred. So he is one of the most beautiful skaters you will ever see in your life. Except he's doing it in a big 6'4" frame. Like, he is a thoroughbred. This kid's a thoroughbred. So he is absolutely an NHL player. And then the other thing is, when he came to his visit, I mean, he's one of those guys that automatically, I mean, he's just a fun, attractive guy. Like, teammates are very attracted to him. He's very fun. He fit in here with Penn State's doing great. I mean, he was a guy after getting to know him, we had to have him. He's just perfect type of guy for Penn State. And the way he's very offensive minded, which fits us obviously, but it's in a 6'4" thoroughbred body. He's been great. Watching him physically is just, you're watching like beauty on ice. It's really fun to watch.
Hey, Coach. What has it been like trying to acclimate the freshmen to the physicality of college hockey? And do you think they're going to be ready for this weekend in Arizona?
Yeah, that's a good question, because we don't have a lot of opportunity, and it's difficult to set out to do that. So what we ask our team, it's basically a matter of the team culture being really competing hard. And by no means are we ever cheap, but we, if we're going to be on the ice together, like, we're going to go very hard, and that's how you do it. And that would be a good question for them, because I don't know how different it is. I did ask them about that, and some of them said, yeah, it's faster, they're bigger, stronger. So I think it's just a matter of competing. It's not necessarily having a meeting with them or pointing that out. It's just a matter of making sure that when we do have competitive drills and compete drills, that our guys go extremely hard, and they do. That's part of being here, Penn State hockey. Like, you're not going to survive if you don't. So they've all come along really well. We'll find out really quickly in that sense if you sink or swim. They've all done well.
Guy, where do you think Gavin will be tested or maybe challenged by the NCAA game where maybe he wasn't in the past, if at all?
Sure. Well, he's gone from playing in a league where there were younger players than him and weren't very many too much older to a league where there might be one younger possibly in the nation. And there's many that he's going to be playing against guys 8 years older that have been lifting weights in a very structured environment for a long time. So, and don't forget, he's 17. So there is going to be a transition process. There is. He's 17. So I think your question was, where is that going to be most evident? I think it's just going to be in the size and the maturity of the athletes he's facing. And that's something that will come along. He'll get better and better as we go, but it's his mind that is going to allow him to do what he does. So that's how it is.
Guy, I hate to turn this into a ping pong press conference, but when I talked to Gavin, over the summer, he said there was a match between you and he during a recruiting visit, and that you won, and that he was going to get his rematch. I'm wondering if that's happened yet.
I did win. I did get my rematch, or he did get his rematch, and I won again. You can print that.
No thought of taking it easy on him?
Oh, I didn't take it easy on him. No, absolutely not.
Hey, Guy, do you have any sort of injury update on Cade Christensen and just sort of what the timeline is for him to return to the ice, or is there any update at this point?
There is. He's doing well, considering his injury, but it is a long-term injury. If he does come back, it will not be till after Christmas.
Hey, Guy, you've already touched on Dane a little bit, but what kind of characteristics do you think Jared Crespo is going to bring to this leadership group this year?
Yeah, so he's a natural. I think Jared's the type of guy that he just, whether he likes it or not, he's a leader. It's just the way it is. He has a lot of presence. He's a very intelligent guy. I can tell you he was back when the rules were different. He was committed to Penn State at a very young age, and he bleeds blue and white through and through. What he brings is, I think when Jared is his best, I think he's been relied on almost his whole life to be the leader because he's just that kind of, whether he likes it or not. And when he just focuses on being him, like leading through example, I think he's unbelievable. Sometimes he puts a little bit too much pressure on himself to be everything to everybody, because I think it's been expected of him his entire life. I think I'm not sure I remember him playing on a team where he wasn't the captain. I can't remember. So he's a guy that brings a lot of Penn State pride, number one. He brings a lot of toughness. He's extremely intelligent. And he's a guy that you rely on in different ways. And if he just focuses on being the best himself, he's amazing.
Coach, another one for me. You talked about ability and it being a large factor in hockey. A guy that's been at home, though, his entire career is Luke Misa. How quickly has he adjusted, knowing that culture is such a big thing for your program?
Yeah. Did you say building? What was your first? Billeting.
Yeah.
Ah, gotcha. There's not very many guys that get to do that. But Luke's interesting. He's actually changed my mind initially. I think there was a perception, and a wrong one, that many of the players at CHL, there's a perception that, a lot of them, it wasn't that they just weren't great students, so they went another direction. Luke Misa is as good a student as we've ever had here, and he's continued that with his grades thus far. Like, he's an extremely intelligent guy and an excellent student, and I think he's really enjoying this. He's really enjoying the college atmosphere. He's really enjoying his classes. He's really enjoying the challenge of it. And there it's more committee driven, and they're responsible to make arguments for and against specific teams. With college hockey, it's formula based, so everybody knows the rules going in. So at the end of the day, you can't complain or argue that you got slighted. So I like that approach, and this is just a slight adjustment in the formula and the mathematics of it. So just give us the rules and we'll play.
Hi. Excuse me. Guy, how excited is this program to be playing in Beaver Stadium? And then what can you say about the role that Pat Kraft has had in investing in your team since he's got here?
Yeah, so we're extremely excited, and I can tell you that's one of the most common questions that I've received since day one of getting here. That's honestly, I can't remember meeting alumni that I've never met before, or I'll get those questions in airports and other cities out recruiting. When are you guys going to play in Beaver Stadium? It's been a very common question. For it to finally happen is awesome. There's a lot of Penn Staters that are extremely excited about it. I considered it an honor to get to do it. I think it's awesome. What Pat Kraft, Vinny James, his entire staff has meant, they got this done. It was all them. And specifically, I think Pat is a guy that really fits into hockey culture. I do. I know the team really really relates to him. So the messages that he has to our team are really well received. He does it in an awesome hockey way. I think he relates to a lot of tough student athletes, and a lot of student athletes that really appreciate having the best of everything. Like this staff really, this department really walks its talk when they talk about doing everything that they can for the development of our student athletes and for the support. And I mean, it's from top down. Like nutrition is a huge one. And they do it better than anybody. Strength and conditioning, the data that comes along with strength and conditioning. Like they put so much effort, and I think our student athletes recognize that. And I think it's been very, very well received.
Coach, I asked a similar question right before Allentown last season. Was talking about how there's certainly a new buzz around campus about the hockey program with the success and everything. Going into this season, what did you talk to your incoming class and all the transfers about the Roar Zone itself, how much fun it is, and playing in front of them?
So I don't have to talk to them about the Roar Zone because they talk to us about the Roar Zone. I honestly, I cannot remember. This has been for several years now. I cannot remember. We ask every recruit reasons for their interest in Penn State. I don't think we've had one in the last, I honestly can't. Since COVID, we have not had a student athlete that has not brought them up to us. And often it's brought by name, like the Roar Zone. They name them. If not, it's always like, man, your student section's unreal. And then, or at the very least, it's like the atmosphere in Pagula Arena is off the charts, and I would love to play there. I mean, it's brought up. So we don't bring it up to them. They bring it up to us.
Last one. Have you adjusted anything, or what do you do in the preseason to test your student athletes, to get them a little bit of challenge, right, to see their mental toughness? Are there drills you like? And with the talent you've had, have you changed anything about how you would have done preseason to this point?
No. We sometimes are forced to change preseason based on some of the physical, where the guys are physically. Some have to do with injuries, et cetera. So we have, again, talking about the things that Pat Kraft preaches. So we have a staff that is very, very dialed in on how everybody is physically and making sure that we come along in a very controlled fashion. So that might change things with our training camp. But what we do, there's a lot of things that are done to enjoy competing. We do the Murph. We've done the Murph already. We do other. I'm really big on this. It's a military grass drills. Basically, I've been doing it for 25 years, and it's a lot of fun. I think the guys, at least I think it's fun. I don't have to do it. I watch them do it. It's really fun watching them do it. And then I think practices rock. Like I think it's part of this. It's part of this culture. We really have set out to make it very well known to our leadership group that this is how we're going to practice. It's short, but it's hard. It's rocking. It's intense. It's extremely competitive. And hopefully, I think, and this has been the case at least this year in the past, like the guys we bring in, we make sure that's an environment they're going to thrive in, they're going to enjoy.
question, raise your hand. We'll get a mic to you. Joined at this time by Dane Dowiak and Dean Fink. Start right here.
Welcome back, guys. First off, this one's for Dane. Being named the captain of this program, obviously it means a lot to you. Just kind of take me through that whole process, and whenever a guy told you the news, what were you feeling?
Honestly, just really honored. I look at all the past captains that have been here and the leadership groups that, I've got, luckily to be around. I was excited. Obviously, it's a huge honor, and I mean, those guys have taught me so much, so I felt like I was pretty prepared. But at the same time, I just felt all the support from my teammates. It wasn't one person that decided it. I think it was the whole team. So just a lot of support and a lot of gratitude to those guys.
Hi, guys. Obviously, you've been here for a couple years, but I'm sure the expectations, at least from the outside, haven't been as high as they maybe are this year. Highest preseason ranking in the USCHO poll. How are you guys sort of handling those expectations this year?
I think we're just taking it day by day. Obviously, we know what we did last year was pretty special. We're going to have a target on our back every night, and we're going to get every team's best game. But I think we're not going to change what we got to do. We're going to hold to our own values and what we know as a team. And I don't think we're looking too much at the numbers or where we're ranked or anything. I just think we're focused on game one at ASU and getting the first win.
Yeah, Dane, excuse me. Everybody wants to know about Gavin McKenna. Now that you've been around him a little bit, what stood out about him on the ice, and what stood out about him off the ice? Just getting to know him as a person and a teammate.
He's an unbelievable kid. There's a lot of hype around him. Obviously, he's an unbelievable player. But the person he is, it shows a lot about how he was raised and where he comes from. And with all the hype he has, he's just a normal guy. In the locker room, it's not any different than if I was talking to Finks or just anybody else. I mean, he's handled it all with pride with Penn State. I think he wants to be here. It's not just a stop for him. He wants to win here, and I think he's all handled it really well.
And would you say you had any specific previous captains in the past that you kind of looked up to and maybe tried to embody their leadership style?
Yeah, I mean, a lot of them actually. Two that come to mind, Christian Berger and Simon Mack. Those guys were obviously tremendous people, tremendous hockey players, but they were really good leaders. They did everything the right way, on and off the ice, and in the classroom. So, I mean, just picking up little things from those guys every single day and applying it to my everyday life and everyday hockey. I think that was huge for my leadership development.
Hey, Aiden, obviously you personally were able to do a lot of really great things offensively last year. I'm just curious, when you bring in a guy like Gavin and all the other talent that you bring in from the CHL, how does that kind of change, your expectations for the offense this year?
Yeah, I mean, obviously the past 2 years have been really good. Bringing in these guys from the CHL, super skilled players, it's exciting, definitely. Obviously you have Gavin McKenna, Jackson Smith, Shay Van Olm. All those guys are top guys, and it just adds to the offense. So I think our offense is going to be 3 lines this year, 4 lines this year, and it's going to be an exciting year for us, definitely.
And you were a top 10 OB Bigger finalist last year. You led the Big Ten in points. You set plenty of Penn State records, but you probably didn't end the year the way you wanted to. You had 1 point in the 3 NCAA tournament games. What steps did you take this offseason to improve? Did you do anything differently?
Yeah, I think it was tough for me at the end of the year last year. Things didn't go my way, but it's a new year. I'm excited. I put on a lot of strength this off season. I really dialed in my shot, really just dialed in my game, and just having the mentality of focusing game by game. Not looking too forward, just going game by game. I think is the biggest thing I learned this off season.
In another one for you, an old teammate of yours, Shay Van Olm, you played with him growing up. Yeah. How excited were you when he kind of told you that he was coming to campus, and how quickly did you tell all the rest of the guys about how good of a player he was?
Yeah, I was pumped. I've known Shay for a long time, since I was a child. We've always been really good buddies. So when he told me that he was coming to Penn State, I was super excited. He's such a good guy in the locker room, great player on the ice. So I was very excited. I think I ran to Dane, ran to my whole class and told them. Obviously they didn't know him at that time, but I told him how good of a player he is, and I was super excited to have him.
Hey guys, this question's for the both of you. You both are veterans returning on this team. Obviously, you got a taste of postseason hockey and in St. Louis with the Frozen Four. How much does that fire burn inside you guys to get back to that position, try to make it further than that, excuse me, and implement that expectation into the younger guys we're coming into?
Yeah, I think that it definitely lights a little bit of fire under us. You get a taste of winning, you just want to do it more. It's addictive, right? So, yeah, that's obviously our end goal is to win a national championship. But we're going to do it for Penn State. But what we got to do first is win that first game in Arizona State. And I think that's really what we're focused on now. Like you said, there's a lot of new faces. And, it's going to take some time to get used to. It's like that every year. So I think the more that we can just focus on game one, taking it day by day in practice and putting our best foot forward. So I think, we just got to focus on ourselves right now.
Dane, you'll be wearing the C for a team that has a lot of talent and a lot of guys who have NHL aspirations. Do you think it'll be hard to manage that, or does it seem like everyone's locked in on the here and now?
I got to give credit to our coaches and the leadership group I'm around. Obviously, we have a lot of talent. We do. I don't think I know there's any way around that. But everybody's kind of bought into what we have going on here. I don't think for anybody it's just a stop to come here and then move on to the next level. I think everybody wants to be here. Everybody wants to win, and that's just only going to get stronger the more we play and the more we practice together. I mean, I know we're all best friends off the ice. We hang out every day. We eat lunch, dinner, breakfast every single day together. So, no, I think that bond is more than just guys wanting to move on.
Hey guys, thanks for the time. Obviously, you have a lot of new pieces on the team this year. How would you say you guys have meshed throughout the offseason and kind of built chemistry? And how would you describe this team? Like, what's the identity of the team going to be this year?
Yeah. Obviously, this is the first year with CHLers coming to NCAA. It is a little different, but I think, the team meshed in the offseason great. We were always texting. We were always I was with Shay all the time. I brought him down here for school and that stuff. And, just meeting the new freshmen was awesome. And then I think this year it's going to be a really fun year. We got the team to do it. Our whole end game is to win a national championship. So I'm going to say consistency.
Curious to get an opinion from both of you guys on this. Frozen Four last year, you bring in the class that you brought in with McKenna and Jackson Smith and Shay. You've got your 5 returning scorers from last season all back. What's the buzz among just the students on campus when you guys go to class, you're at the hub or wherever? You guys have been around here long enough. Does it feel like there's something more, like the team's even more, there's more anticipation from the fans than there has been in years past?
I definitely think so. I mean, you go to class, maybe a professor might say, I can't wait to watch a hockey game, or one of your classmates that you sit next to and you've never met them before and they can't wait to watch a hockey game, and you just, I don't even know how you know me. But no, it's pretty cool. I think there's a lot of buzz around, the players we got coming in. And the team we had last year, obviously those two clashing is going to make some noise. So yeah, I definitely think there's a lot of buzz, and it's pretty cool and pretty special to be a part of.
Anything else for Dane or Aiden?
Just one more. You guys are forwards. How does it change your attack when you have a 6'4" left shot defenseman like Jackson Smith who skates the way he does? How does that help the transition game? How does that help, especially 5-on-5 and also on the power play?
I mean, for me, I know I can go to the net and it's going to get there. That's for sure. You get a defenseman like that who can move that well. Not only is he going to be able to put the puck in the back of the net, but he's going to be able to defend fast. And, Penn State hockey, we play with quick transition. So, having those players like that, it'll help us a lot. And, I mean, he can speak for more on the power play. I'm just a guy that stands in front of the net and takes eyes for him. So,
Yeah. I I mean, obviously having him for the power play, what he did with Tri-City last year on that power play was unbelievable. And adding a core piece like him, I think is going to be really big for the power play. He's big, he's smart, he can shoot the puck, he does everything. So it's going to be extremely big for us, and I'm super excited to have him. He's obviously a great guy off the ice too. So super pumped to have him on the power play, and it's going to be fun.
You bring in all this CHL talent like Jackson Smith, Gavin McKenna. How often are you guys trying to pick their brains?
Yeah, I mean, I know from me and Gav, we pick each other's brains every day about the power play. Today we were talking about what we can do. Even when we're doing power play on the ice, we're always talking to each other, seeing what looks we have, what we can do better, and that stuff. So, for me, with all these freshmen, I think they pick our brain, we pick their brain. So, it's just coming together and trying to be the best team we can be.
Final two questions for these guys. Owen, you're first.
Just want to ask about the personality of Lev Katzen. I mean, he kind of reminds me of Danny in a way, a little bit of a fireball energy to him. So I'm riding around on the golf cart with a megaphone, just kind of screaming things out there. Can you just speak about him as a person?
Yeah, I mean, we call him Mr. Penn State. This guy, he came in hot. He's still hot. No, but we love Lev. He embodies what it means to be a Penn Stater. He's a lot of pride in wearing that logo, and he's a lot of pride for, being here. And I mean, he's gonna be asked to, play a role this year. And I think, as a young kid, he accepts everything that's given to him, and he's gonna be awesome. I mean, just the way he is around the rink, it went at 7 a.m. When you gotta move a bunch of weight as fast as you can. He's giving you a smile. So he's been awesome.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think I've ever seen that guy without a smile on his face. He's awesome to have in the locker room. He's a really good player, and he's going to add to our team. And, you always smile when you see Lev Katzen is in your presence.
Final question right here.
You guys get to play outdoors this year at Beaver Stadium. What are your excitement levels like to be able to play in an environment like that?
It'll be the coolest game I ever play in my life. I mean, you watch the football games every weekend. The atmosphere it's the best in the country. We have the best hockey fans in the country. I know that for sure with the Roar Zone. And I know they're going to be bringing the energy. And, I mean, you add tens of thousands and more. I don't think it'll get any better.
Yeah, I'm super excited. Obviously, we played at Ringley last year. That was a super cool experience. Got to kind of feel it out, play outdoors. But I think it's going to be 10 times better. Being able to play at Beaver Stadium, it's a dream of mine. Like, I think everyone dreams about it. I know all the alumni are a little mad that it didn't happen in their time, but it just shows how cool this game's going to be. So yeah, I'm super excited and can't wait for it, but we're going to focus on Arizona for now.
Thanks, boys. Joined at this time by Gavin McKenna. If you have a question for Gavin, please raise your hand. We'll get a mic to you. You can ask your question. Back in the hat, and then right there. One for a second.
Hey, Gavin, how are you?
Good, how are you?
Doing good. What is your first impression of Penn State as a university and a campus now that you've had some time here, and what's been the biggest adjustment for you so far to college life?
It's been a lot of fun. I think obviously living on my own, being 17 years old, it's a little different, not having a billet mom or a family, but it's been a lot of fun. I got some guys in my apartment building that I hang out with, and it's kind of nice that everything's pretty close, so you can pretty much hang with the guys whenever you want.
Gavin, here in the middle. So far, being on the ice, what has stood out to you about this team, and how do you feel like you fit into what they want to do on the ice?
Well, I think how competitive it is on the ice. We're a very competitive team. As well as that, we're a really fast team, and I think we talk a lot about offense and bringing offense, and I think, honestly, that's my whole game is offense and playing with speed. So I think I fit in pretty well.
Gavin, how's it going? So I'm sure we'll get into the differences between the WHL and NCAA, but just from a cultural standpoint, I mean, you're from Western Canada, you're about to play a hockey game in the desert. In January, you could play in front of 100,000 people in Beaver Stadium. What excites you most about college hockey and Penn State from an off-ice perspective?
Well, I think, you talk a little bit about the college atmospheres and the rinks and stuff. Obviously, younger fan bases. So, there's going to be a lot of excitement in all those barns that we go to. And here in State College, there's a lot of hype around our team. So, it should be fun to play the first one at home. And obviously, ASU is a pretty cool spot to play your first game. So, there's a lot of excitement around our team. And obviously, I'm pumped for this year.
Right here up front. When did you know Penn State was the place you wanted to be during your whole entire recruiting process?
I honestly, I thought Penn State, like, if I was going to go to college, I didn't know if I was going to go to college for a long time, but in January, I thought if I was ever going to go to a college, it would be Penn State. I don't know why, but I had that gut feeling, and obviously, as soon as I saw this place, I kind of knew I was coming here.
Gavin, how much college hockey did you watch when you were younger, and where do you expect to be challenged by the college game?
Honestly, I did not watch a lot of college hockey. Obviously, in Western Canada, you watch the WHL, and I think where I'm going to be challenged is probably just the little amount of games, going from 68 games in a year to 33 or whatever it is. That's going to be obviously a challenge. I love the game, and itch to play games. So with that, though, that's the reason I came here is because less games, more time in the gym. I'm not a big guy, so I want to put on weight, and that was part of the reason I came here.
Hey, Gavin, right here in front. How do you think the play style of the NCAA differs from what you experience in the WHL?
I think there's a lot less time and space. The guys are bigger, faster, older. It's not too different in terms of skill and stuff. Obviously, both leagues are very skilled and guys can make plays and stuff, but in terms of speed and size, I think that's the biggest difference.
Hey, Gavin, straight back. What's it like for you trying to navigate campus, this community, when obviously so many people are excited that you're here and so many people know who you are? Have there been any interesting or exciting fan interactions so far?
I wouldn't say anything too out of the ordinary. I don't know. I think all the people here are very supportive of all their sports. They kind of rally behind their sports. So the support I've gotten has been pretty amazing. And they're all really great when I get asked for a photo or whatever. It's they're all very polite, and I respect that.
How has hanging out with all the guys been in the ping pong room, and how do you hope to climb up the rankings even further? Because Gads was talking earlier about how he's the best in the room. So, I mean, how do you continue to move up the boards?
Yeah, it's a very competitive locker room, whether it's on the ice or off the ice. And honestly, I think it starts with Gads. He kind of brings that mentality to all of us. He's at the top of the leaderboard in ping pong, and I'm not a big darts guy, but I'm pretty sure he's at the top of that one too. So, it starts with him, and I know all the guys love playing each other. We all bicker at each other and stuff, so it's a lot of fun.
Hey, Gavin, you mentioned kind of living on your own for the first time, not without like a billet family or anything. So has there been anyone on the team, a veteran guys, kind of taking you under their wing, mentored you a little bit? Like, who do you hang out with the most, and who has had the biggest impact on you so far?
There's been a few guys. I hang out with Braden Ford quite a bit. He's in my apartment building, so I think hanging out with him. I got Charlie Serrato, Nick Fascia, and Keaton Peters as well in that building. So hanging out with those guys, kind of seeing how their places are all clean and mine's a bit of a mess. It's nice to get a bit of a reality check and know that I got to clean up my place.
Gavin, Aimfink was one of the most productive players in college hockey last year. Was it like being teammates with him? How does he work, and what are you learning from him?
Yeah, he's a lot of fun to play with. I got to skate with him a few times in the summer and get to know him as a person, and he's a lot of fun. He's a very smart hockey player, and I think just the way he competes, obviously guys know he's one of the best players in college hockey, so I think when they see him do a certain thing, they want to follow that, and he kind of sets the tone for it.
Yeah, Gavin, when Guy was in here before, he talked about, as far as the difference between WHL and NCAA, is you're able to manipulate the pace versus trying to catch up to the pace because it's older, stronger. When he says manipulate the pace, can you sort of give us a little bit of insight of what that means from your perspective as far as how you've kind of navigated, NCAA hockey just with practices and kind of learning new teammates and bigger, stronger guys?
Yeah, for me, I think that's part of my game is sometimes I like to slow down the game and sometimes I like to speed it up. And I think a part of my game is patience. So sometimes when I'm out there, I like to slow it down and have guys come to me where, I can find guys open. And I think it's just kind of knowing when to do it and when to not. I think obviously college is a very fast-paced game and it's a little different from the dub, but I think it's been going good so far in practices.
And when Guy was in here, he said he wasn't sure if you were going to commit to Penn State if you guys didn't bring in Jackson Smith. Is there any element to that that's actually true? And what have you seen from him? What does he bring from this team?
Obviously, it's good to have him here. I think the reason I came here wasn't just for one player, it's for the whole team. I think seeing what these guys did in last year, making it to the Frozen Four, I think that was obviously a big influence on me, and I wanted to come to a winning team, and I thought this was a spot. So, I grew up with Jackson. We've played in tournaments together. He's a great player, and the way he sees the ice is pretty special, and he's got a lot of confidence out there, which is a very big key in hockey, I think. And I think he's got all the tools.
Hey, Gavin, just hoping you can confirm Connor Bedard is a cousin through marriage, and just want to know, I guess, how that relationship has developed throughout the years and how you guys are able to learn and how you've been able to learn from him.
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't call us cousins, I guess, but the media's blown it up a little bit. And but I text him. I think the first time I texted him was when he got exceptional status and said my congrats. We text each other if I ever need advice. We've kind of been through similar things, so I think he's a guy I can lean on, and I've asked him for advice on things, and he's obviously very good about that stuff, and he's willing to help me when I need.
Friends? You're not related then?
No, well, it's like eighth cousins.
Okay, gotcha.
Hey, Gavin, in the back here as well. To kind of piggyback off of both of those last two questions, but with Jackson more specifically, he went through the NHL draft process this summer. You guys being teammates now, that being on your plate pretty soon here. Have you been able to lean on him with that, and has that contributed to your relationship at all?
Yeah, I think it's obviously pretty early in the year for me, and I'm sure once I get into the mix of it, I think he'll be a guy I can lean on, as well as Aiden Fink. I think both of them have been through it, and when I need a guy to lean on, I know to go to those guys, and they're obviously going to be willing to help because they're good teammates and they're smart guys. So.
Hey, Gavin. There's been so much chatter about the expectations and everyone talking about you. Do you like those expectations, or how do you stay grounded here in this first season, making sure there isn't too much pressure in this moment?
Yeah, obviously there's a lot of pressure, but I think over the years I've kind of learned to deal with it, and yeah, especially with our team this year, there's a lot of hype, and obviously with that comes a lot of pressure. And I don't know. I think I've been on teams where there's been a lot of hype around us, and we've been able to pull through. I think big thing is just not getting complacent. I think with the group we got, it's very competitive in practices and everything. So I can't see complacency coming into our locker room. But if it does, I think it's just going to be a big thing that we don't let it happen.
Gavin, you mentioned earlier that you had a gut feeling about Penn State back in January, but when you got here, you fell in love with it. What about it made you fall in love with it?
There was a lot, honestly. I'd never even seen what a U.S. college is like. So when I came here and saw, the campus and all the facilities we got and all the resources, it was pretty hard to say no as well. I met some of the guys. I got taken out to dinner. So I think when you meet those guys and have conversations with them, you kind of get a feel of, whether it's a good locker room or not. And I had a lot of fun, and I knew these were guys I wanted to surround myself with.